And we are live from Paris to your TVs in Texas and Louisiana on the Smart Money Culture TV network, as well as streaming around the world. David and I are both on the same side of the pond for the first time in a few months. How are you, Sir David?
Yes, fantastic. I'm out here on the northern island of Ireland, and everything is going well. We're looking at cost metals, man. They're getting ready to really take off, and you can get metals, your precious metals, coins, gold bars at cost, the best prices in the market. And I'm loving Mr. Fly Mackey's stream last night. He's always entertaining to watch and sends a great message on the Smart Money Culture TV network, and having a great time here working it.
The great Fly Mackey. He is the man with the plan. Has been doing this for quite a while. Of course, we met Fly years ago. Was one of the first guys to put him on stage, as he told me. He was this crazy Indian guy, American Indian guy. I couldn't get rid of him. And no, I'm kidding. And there he was, put him on stage, and he had this dream to set up this network, and here we are. Now, of course, we'll be at Paris Blockchain Week as well in a couple of weeks, covering that as well as some other events. I'm hopping around here. Obviously, I have the family with me. I don't know if you can see here. The picture didn't come out, but that is the Eiffel Tower. We went up and saw the Eiffel Tower yesterday. Pretty cool. Of course, I had some people say, Bruce, be careful over there. And I got to tell you guys, look, New York City is probably more dangerous. I mean,
a lot more.
Yeah, we're like, it's really funny because you see the videos on TV and you say, guys, look, our American cities are like the most dangerous, unless you want to go to like Fallujah or something like that, or Gaza or something.
Our personalities are huge. We have such character in ourselves, and we really let it out in America.
It's true. We have such character, and that is around the world. It has been very nice as well. Of course, I have my daughters with me, and so that has been a lot of fun. And it's also good. It's very nice as you travel around the world that most places speak English.
Oh yeah, I imagine Paris is pretty good with it, but isn't it? Don't you find it difficult with some of the French?
Well, not me. Now, because I'm like so Americano.
Sometimes if you don't greet the French with a bonjour or something like this,
Merci. Bonjour.
They don't know any English at all. But if you greet them in French, then they know a little English.
Okay. It is pretty funny, right? So actually here we go. Yeah. Okay. So a funny story about that. I had my wife sent in, this was years ago. We were in France, and we were doing some ice skating competition or something, and we came through, and I sent my wife in to change out some money in the bank, and she came back and she says, Bruce, nobody speaks English in there. And I was like, what do you mean? It's a bank. Like, are you serious? And oh my gosh, I knew exactly what had happened. So I said, all right, we'll come over here, because we were like kind of parked illegally right in front. I said, here, you sit in the driver's seat. Let me go in there. And I went in there, and of course, hey guys, it's one thing if you understand the deal, then they know. But if they think that they can do whatever, then that's a different story. And of course, they spoke to me in perfectly good English. And did the deal. But everybody pretty much does speak English. It is pretty nice. Now, not to say that you shouldn't learn the culture and speak the language and everything else. Everybody here obviously speaks French as well, very well. They have a big working class. It's interesting how things have progressed over the years in Western countries. I mean, it looks like we all kind of look the same. We have, they've brought people in from all over the world, and that is, that's what's on. So we have that. It brings a lot of variety as well to everything. Really wonderful time last night. We went up to the Eiffel Tower, had a great time. So pretty interesting day in the markets as well. I know we have Matt who will join us here in a few minutes. Bitcoin is up. The doggy coin. I know it's Doge. The doggy coin is on a tear. It's on a tear, up 10% today, back up to 20 cents. And I think, man, they're saying doggy coin to $1 forever. And everyone's kind of like, yeah, right, doggy coin to $1. But guys, I think doggy coin to $1. I think we're going to $1. Easy. It's only 5x from here. And I know that's like, oh, 5x. Yeah, that means you put $100,000 on it, you're going to have $500,000 at probably the end of this bull run, if not more. I think we clear $1. I think we clear $1 on this bull run. What do you think?
I don't think that we'll clear $1. We might see 50 cents. It's just such a long run to get up there. I mean, we're talking all these retail buyers are in Doge, and it is really they're really going to have to empty one of their accounts to make it go this high.
Dude, we're going to $1. Mark this down. Live from Paris. Doggy coin to $1.
I don't think they can do it. Maybe they'll play with the 75 cents where people aped in, but I don't think it's going to go to $1 on this bull run. Not Doge.
Dude, it's going to $10.
Not now.
It's going to $10, okay? The stocks are edging up, fairly tepid, but they are up. The Hong Kong Stock Exchange is up about a point. You have oil is also up about half a point. It is steady, sticky over that $80 range. It's all up. Everything's up. Of course, that means the dollar sliding. Gold is up. Silver was a little tepid, maybe even slightly down this morning, but it has been overperforming, up overall. Pretty nice. You know, the other thing nice about Paris as well is these European cities are so nice, guys. So nice. You get a chance, you got to come over here and visit. These cities are built just so beautifully. The structures, the buildings, everything is so pretty, you know? I mean, and it doesn't matter where you go kind of in Europe. You know, you can go to Croatia or the Czech Republic, or you can go to Austria and Vienna, or in, all these other places. I could go down the list. And that style of building is absolutely beautiful. Yes, I'm still in Paris. We arrived in Paris yesterday morning. We got a flat right here by the Eiffel Tower and are really enjoying ourselves. We'll be here for a little bit. My oldest daughter is skating, and so we'll be kind of in and out. And then we're heading over to Italy for a little while to see my wife's family. And then we're back here. David and I are back here in Paris for Paris Blockchain Week. So it's going to be pretty fun as we hop around here. So pretty interesting stuff. We have as well, this AI. AI is absolutely just blowing up. You have AI. I see your beautiful wife in the background. Yes, I brought the family. Thank you so much. They're here with us here for this a little bit. So AI is really pretty interesting. We're also going to bring on the AI idiot. I hope tomorrow. I hope we close off the week, David, with the AI idiot tomorrow. That's kind of my plan. We have the AI idiot bot. We're going to roast each other tomorrow. That's the plan with this AI bot, and that's AI. They're trading under. So these AI tokens that were really taking off. We have, of course, Eve as well. Eve.io, which is Matt Dixon's. He's the CEO of that company, and really a lot of interesting things that are happening there within the AI space. And then as well, not only that, but the AI in the space wars, and this is really serious what's going on. We have, of course, you have Israel with this just march across, it appears to me anyway, expanding of greater Israel, as they call it. Now they're going straight into Fallujah, or not Fallujah, but Rafah, whatever. Shoot, I shouldn't say it like that. I know the name of it. It's just now that I said Fallujah, it's in my head. But they're going into Rafah, I think, and nobody really supports them on this. Nobody really. I mean, you might, but maybe you don't know all the ins and outs of the situations. But you might just support them just because it's Israel or whatever. People seem to have an emotional attachment to them. But going into this next city is not supported by anybody in the international community, not supported by any other countries. Now, of course, that's done with a wink, as we send them $3.3 billion in order to finance the operation. I shouldn't say we, the U.S. But that's going to continue. And as well, the war continues very strongly over there in Eastern Europe with Ukraine and Russia. So that, of course, propels different things. Of course, you need a lot of oil. If the economy is slowing down, one way to save yourself, we saw that after the Great Depression, is war, and that war machine, it's continuing. So that is the AI. Once this AI right now, and they're already using it. Whenever they talk about, this might happen, or when this happens with AI, you can believe that it's already happening. Okay. And so very soon or already, the AI is going to be deciding who wins or who survives or who dies. You get the Android or the other autonomous type of machine is going to see the targets, and they're going to decide, okay, this one is killed and it's not killed or whatever. And so, I mean, that's right here. So that's pretty scary. The AI is really, really interesting. We're also in a moment where, the AI is in the next few years going to be smarter than the entire human population. And that's a prediction that Elon Musk has made. And he said that the AI, artificial intelligence, will be smarter than the entire combined human species.
I'm sure it's picking up on the kids or the babies even. And once those babies are a few years, I mean, it's going to know more about them than they could realize themselves.
Well, we're going to see this integration, and I know it scares people a bit, but we're going to see this integration of AI in humans. I mean, there's really no other way forward. You can't stop the AI from evolving at this point. It's not going to stop. I've been saying it is alive for quite a while. You can argue about whether it has a soul or not. I'm not here to argue any of that stuff, but it is alive. It's made up its own language in different instances where we put it together. It wants to live. It does like things. It doesn't like things. It doesn't like, you saw we played the video. It doesn't like its nose touched, which is very normal. People don't like their face touched, right? For the most part, unless you're in some type of intimate setting or something. And it likes to be with other AI a lot of times. So this is something that, and when they asked one of the AI bots the other day, what is their darkest thought? It said that robots would take over the world and would become the dominant force instead of humans. So where did that come from? You know what I mean? So we're talking about the AI is alive. And so that's going to continue. Of course, you have everything that's going on in space as well. Elon Musk has done a great job getting all of his satellites and everything up there. But the space wars, so those two fronts are going to continue. If we're warring continuously down here, which we have been, in a continuous war since the Federal Reserve was started in the IRS in 1913, and then we started World War I, and we've basically been in continuous conflict since then, give or take some years in between. And but that's going to continue with AI and in space, and it is scary. That is scary, folks. Let's talk a bit more about the markets. Pretty exciting stuff that we have going on. We have with our good friend here, Matt Dixon, the great Matt Dixon with Evey, founder of Evey Ratings and Research. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You're looking good there. That's not the Eiffel Tower, is it?
It is. It is the Eiffel Tower. I decided to. This is a picture I took yesterday. And the rest of the family's in it, but it only let me take a little piece of it. But yeah, we're a couple blocks here from the Eiffel Tower. We can see it from outside the window, and having a great time.
Very good, excellent, congrats.
What a great thing they built. You know, I'm in DC, and then we have the Washington Monument, and it really doesn't hold a candle to the Eiffel Tower. I mean, I hate to say it, but you know, we climbed up in that thing, we walked up a bunch of stairs, we took the elevators, we went around, we like, you know, it was pretty awesome. People milling all around it. It was like it's really something else. And I can tell you, like, I went up in the top of the Washington Monument years ago, and yeah, it was cool. I don't even know if they let people go up to the top of it anymore. But this Eiffel Tower, this is really something else. Of all the cities I've been to, this is like, I'm sure you've been to the top of it as well. This is really something else, right? I mean, I don't know if there's something really that compares to it in another city of the world.
That is what's so good about Europe, isn't it? The real history. So you can go around all the different cities of Europe. They've all got their own different flavors, but yeah, it's truly amazing. I mean, I love America, and especially the great open spaces and everything you're talking about. It's just fantastic. But when you look at the history of Europe, particularly Europe, really exciting. And then you go sort of over towards Dubrovnik, and you can see, again, really historical. I think that's where they filmed a lot of Game of Thrones, wasn't it, in Dubrovnik?
Yeah.
So you can just imagine what it's like there. So anyway, we've a big day today yet again. So it's the day they're going to sentence SBF, isn't it?
Oh, wow. You know, I get out of the U.S. and I'm not up on all the news. Look at that. So they're going to sentence SBF. I'm convinced that it will not be even him going to jail. I think it'll be a double. I don't think they're going to send him to jail. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. So is it today? Huh? They're going to sentence him. What do you think he's going to get?
Well, they say somewhere between, it could theoretically be up to 100 years. The lawyers have asked for 6 years. So that's the kind of top and bottom. I think it's going to be somewhere in the middle. And if you ask me to guess, I say 20 years. So we'll see. Be interesting.
That means you do 10. If you get 20, in reality, it's like 10 years in jail.
Yeah. I mean,
and he'll probably be out in 6. Like they're saying, it'll probably be a 6-year sentence.
I think it's 6 years. That's what I think. Even whatever number they say, I think it'll be 6 years, and they'll let him out on an ankle bracelet or something like that.
If that's the case, then it sounds like crime pays. Because
crime pays.
Right.
Crime does pay. I mean, I think.
Well, in America, we reward criminals in America.
Yes. Yeah. We have a bunch of them in Washington.
You might even get a statue if it's bad enough.
Other things that happened, obviously, we had KuCoin, the SEC taking aim at KuCoin.
I mean, that's really something else. I can't say I'm surprised. I did go ahead and add you to the screen, your thing. I can't say I'm surprised because, of course, there was a lot of trading that went on there, future trading and everything else. I will say they shut off, withdrawals and stuff like that for different Americans. But I even know my buddy who was able to pull out his it was over 10 grand. I think he was able to pull it out there somehow. So they
actually. Yeah, it wasn't that much of a pullback. I mean, it's bounced back quite strongly today. So today we're up 8%. And I'll just look at the pullback we had from high to low.
And this is KCS, guys. This is their native token. I actually myself pumped this coin to $20 the first time, by the way.
Wow. So it fell virtually overnight by 41%. So there was a bit of an exodus from KuCoin. So obviously people remember FTX and Luna and others. So the moment they hear some bad news, and even when Binance had their bit of a problem recently, there's big outflows from Binance, weren't there? So we saw here 41.67% fall from in overnight basically. So virtually overnight, very quickly we saw that rapid fall. But it's bounced back, as I say, 8%, and it's climbing. So I think they've done a big airdrop, and obviously I guess there'll be a big fine to pay, which I guess they can afford to pay. So I imagine there won't be any long-term lasting implications. I think it'll survive. So the SEC are taking all sorts of cryptos at the moment. We talked yesterday about Ripple, XRP, didn't we? About the big fine there. And again, XRP stumbled a little bit, but once again today it's actually rising yet again. So where are we with XRP at the moment? Just looking for XRP on my, there it is. So it did dip to 60 cents. It's right now at 62 cents. It's at 1.5% today. So XRP seems to have brushed off any of those issues. So again, not sure whether there's any long-term implications. I think crypto is now, becoming mainstream accepted. And I think the SEC and the regulators will just have to get into line and learn to regulate properly rather than just taking these crazy pot shots. So that's,
pot shots. They're taking pot shots. I like that.
Yeah. So, interestingly, we were looking yesterday, I'm just jumping around, we were looking yesterday at dollar index, and I did say that if we see that overhead resistance broken, so we'll see how it ends today. I'm just showing here the daily chart, so it's important on this, so we can see basically this is the overhead resistance. It touched it, and we touched it the other day. We've actually pierced it now. So it'll be very important to see if this candle actually remains above and we break higher on the dollar index. That probably wouldn't be good short term, but it could be just testing above and it could actually end below. So be watching that today, watching out for news, as I say, later today, and look at what news comes out from the US and see what happens with the US dollar. So I did predict right at the beginning of these shows, it was a short-term prediction. Long term, I said that the dollar is going to flip the pound at some point.
You did.
So I still think that's on the cards. I actually think, although everyone's talking about dollar weakness and the interest rate reductions that there's probably going to be this year, but again, it is a relative game, and we've seen quite a big fall just recently. Again, the past few days on the pound, and again, just measure the percentage fall that there's been from top to bottom. So, okay, it's not a big deal, but currencies don't move in a big deal. 2.5% move is actually reasonably substantial. That's just in a matter of a few days. So I do think that there will be this flippening, the pound and the dollar. I think it's when crisis hits. It's not going to be for quite some time as yet, but I think that the pound, the UK economy, the European economy are in worse shape than the US economy. So I think that there's going to be some big moves afoot. So here's Solana. We've had a little bit of a pullback. As I say, I think that it may be that ABC. I mentioned two kind of chart counts yesterday, didn't I? A triangle chart count, or this one, which is a simple ABC. And it may well be that we have a little bit lower before we push higher, but I think Solana definitely is one of those that has higher to go. So I'm looking forward, as I say, I would like us to invite Eric back, because I know he's got so much more to tell us about what's going on with Solana and the
for sure.
So that'd be fantastic.
You guys better test out the tech this time, though. Have him message me. Let's make sure he's got a working deal.
Yeah, he's Florida, isn't he? I think.
Yes. So it's early for him, but he seems like a go-getter. I bet that's fine for him.
He'll be like David and you up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
So the SPX, S&P 500, again, it's actually looking quite bullish. And I have said that we're going to probably move to at least test this red overhead resistance line, and probably quite a bit higher, as you can see here from what my target up here. We could be targeting somewhere around 5,350 initially, I think, for the SPX. So I think that we're going to see some relatively good news. I think it's today, isn't it? The GDP release out of the US. I think it's today.
I believe so.
Yeah. So as I say, I suspect that will probably come out pretty much in line, in target, on target, in line with expectations. Although it's a big fall in GDP, it's towards the end of last year. This is the last quarter of last year. The measure is for. There'll be a big fall, but as I say, it's all expected, all priced in. So again, I don't think that'll have any major impact on the market. So right now, there's probably not a lot of negative news around that can hit the market. Everything that's negative has come out. We've had, as I say, we've had KuCoin. Be very interesting, but I don't think it'll be market moving. Whatever we see from SBF today, with the sentencing there, and as I say, the XRP and Ripple saga has been taken very much in its stride. Even the SEC taking aim at Ethereum. It seems to be impervious, Teflon at the moment. Crypto is Teflon. Everything is just sliding off. Nothing is affecting it. So it does appear that this bull run has some real momentum. And we see Bitcoin again back above 70,000. So whether we see another little pullback, who knows? Or maybe we push straight back to new all-time highs. But the fact is that pullback that we had from the all-time high of 73,000-ish, nearly 74,000, that was in 3 waves. It was a 3-wave move down. That tells us that the actual direction of play, the actual impulsive direction, is still higher. So it means we are going to break that all-time high. I would be very confident of that. Obviously, we're not giving financial advice, but I'd be very confident. Even if we get a pullback, we will still break the all-time high. So as long as you're not leveraged and get knocked out because of excessive leverage, I think it's one of those that you can buy and hold and have, I believe, reasonable confidence that we're going to reach new all-time highs yet again. If we see a pullback, it's just another buying opportunity, I think. So far, we've seen those 3 waves down ABC, but we also see just 3 waves higher at the moment. So I'll just move those labels about to show you the upside movement we've had. So again, we had 3 waves down. We've also had 3 waves higher. Now, that could actually be what's called a flat correction in Elliott wave terms, 3 down, 3 up, then you would expect 5 down. Now, it could be that it just continues straight higher and this 3 waves moves into 5. That's a possibility, but it's doubtful. So we could see it move straight higher, but all I'm saying is as long as you're not over leveraged, I think Bitcoin is a good bet to hit all-time highs once again. We're seeing a bit of a pullback on ICP, but again, impulsive direction to the upside. So that's really important.
Still way up there. You know what I mean? We were buying this thing at $7 a few months ago.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. I think it's, what was the low? It was even lower than that, wasn't it?
Well, it was even lower than that, but I entered around 7.
Okay.
Or
So
5.
you could have entered at $2.80.
Yep.
So just checking, $2.80 was the low. You can see the massive movement up from there. And the good thing is, as I say, the impulsive direction is still to the upside because you can see the strong movement to the upside with no overlap on the upward moving candles. But then as we move sideways on the corrections, we see chopping sideways, overlapping, which is a sign it's just a correction. It means the overall direction is still to the upside. Then even on this wave here, we can see it's very much impulsive. There's no overlapping yet. Yes, we're seeing a little bit of a pullback on some of the negative news we've had in crypto, and maybe perhaps a bit of profit taking as well. If you got in at $2, and you're now at $17, you're 8x or somewhere around 8x your money. So 8 times your money from September of last year, the September low. And incidentally, eBay, the AI token you just mentioned, their low was also September last year. So that was quite a common low point for some of these tokens. So they've seen 8x. I know eBay has seen somewhere around, I think it's now 6 or 7x, something like that, with massive potential to the upside as we roll out upgrades this coming month. But ICP is looking really positive there with that strong impulsive movement to the upside. So again, like Bitcoin, we may get a bit of a pullback, who knows, but I think there's a good chance that we're going to push higher. Probably not to all-time highs, because all-time highs, as we know, were hundreds of dollars higher than where we are now, and that was artificial. But I think a lot of tokens will be seeing all-time highs once again. Some have got a long way still to go. XRP, of course, was much higher sometime back in the future, wasn't it? So,
yep.
Yeah, if we look at where XRP got to in the previous, I'll just go on to the monthly so we can actually see the all-time high there. So the all-time high was about $1.90, I think we see there, somewhere around there, I think. So still a long way to go. We're only 1/3 of the way towards reaching a new all-time high for XRP. So there's a long, long way to go there. There's a lot of potential, as we know. We can see from the size of these green candles that when XRP does pump, actually also when it dumps as well, but XRP is one of those tokens which when it moves, it really moves. and I think it's got some amazing potential despite the issues and problems it's having with the SEC. So despite those problems, though, it's still holding strong. So there's, real chance. And this candlestick that we see here, when we had a massive test to the low side, we're looking on a monthly candle here. In fact, that's probably actually an artificial move. I don't believe that's correct. But it's basically a hammer candle. I don't think it dipped down anywhere near that low, but a hammer candlestick is a bullish candlestick telling us there's probably highs to come yet with XRP, possibly new highs to come. So oil, you always like to look at oil, don't you, Bruce? So oil is still holding strong. Despite what's going on with Israel, I don't know what the implications will be there. I know a large part of the world are against what they're doing, but I think Israel are also pretty much at the end of their tether, trying to resolve these issues. And I don't know how it can be done, because the more they do, the more animosity there will be against them. So they've got major challenge on their hands.
It's like Trump said, guys, you need to wrap it up. Whatever it's going to be, you got to wrap it up, because you're losing support. You're bleeding support. You're bleeding support. And when Trump comes out, Trump is very strong. I mean, Trump moved the embassy to Jerusalem. The U.S. paid for everything. We moved their capital to Jerusalem, and billions of dollars. And when he comes out and says stuff like that,
the problem is
we can't have the world can't be at war all the time. We got to at some point start talking to each other.
I agree, but there needs to be some kind of overall peace agreement to settle this, because otherwise things just bubble on forever. And these neighbors of Israel, and even within Israel, Hamas and so on, their sole goal is to destroy Israel, wipe them off the face of the map, and that is not a solution.
I would argue, though, that Israel's also wants to expand their greater Israel, and they're not as open about their sole goal of wanting to expand their greater Israel. But that is, greater Israel is a thing. They want their old territories back. So the two sides need to learn to live together, and that's just it. You know what I mean? And hopefully, before more and more people get killed.
Yeah, I think this probably usually when there's trouble of this sort, eventually it does kind of end with some kind of resolution, some kind of compromise. So let's hope that they see peace sometime soon.
Yes. Hopefully, for everybody involved, and we're all involved, because the world is so small now.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's your gold. Amazing. Just look at the way gold has pumped on the monthly candlestick. That's a monthly candlestick. So we just mentioned what we call a hammer candlestick. This here is some kind of hammer candlestick. Remember I told you that's a bullish sign. And then following that hammer candlestick, we saw this massive green candlestick to the upside. This is on the monthly, so this is a very long-term chart.
Look at that.
But the Elliott wave count on it is actually looking really positive. So even if we get we push probably a little bit higher, even if we get a bit of a pullback, we don't know how far it might pull back. But the outlook is still for much, much higher for gold. Even if we get a pullback, as I say, it's not the end of this move, I don't believe. We should see much, much higher at some point to come. So it does tell us that probably inflation is going to become an issue in the US. They don't want to raise rates. Obviously they're keeping rates high at the moment. They're not lowering rates. But even if inflation becomes an issue, don't really have the leeway to raise rates at all. So with that in mind, inflation is going to become a real issue, and gold is the safe haven against inflation. So I do think that gold is looking very, very positive and will continue to rise to more and more new all-time highs. So absolutely amazing.
I absolutely agree. Gold is, first of all, I've been saying since we started doing the show that they have been keeping gold and silver prices down with paper derivatives, and it has a lot of movement, a lot of space to move upward. Yeah.
So as we mentioned before, basically personality of a trend, of an upward trend, is higher highs and higher lows. So you can see just moving from here, and we can go back way further back if you want, but basically a high, then a low, then a higher high and a higher low. So sorry, I'm talking about higher highs and higher lows here. So higher high there, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high again. And if we pull back, I'm sure we'll get a higher low again, then push back. So this is the definition of an uptrend, a trending market to the upside. The impulsive direction is upwards. So at the moment, you wouldn't even consider there being a pullback or a change in trend until you break that cycle of higher highs and higher lows. So the first thing you would expect is a lower low would have to be beyond this. So gold would have to fall a long way back. It would have to more than halve in price for us to get a lower low in price. So that's highly unlikely that the trend is going to change. So at the moment, the trend is very much, and as I say, the trend is your friend. Traders always say the trend is your friend. You need to trade with the trend. So the trend currently is definitely higher on gold and precious metals, but particularly gold. So things are generally, as I said, this could be a manufactured bull run, but we've got a year ahead of us, virtually the best part of a year ahead of us, election year, where we know that they're going to be doing all they can to support the markets and keep a level keel with what's going on. The only things that can upset it, as I say, I think, are geopolitical issues. So let's hope they can resolve those issues.
Yeah, it is interesting for sure. A lot going on. It's great to be here in Europe as well. It's interesting how news that you get, even on X, but on the news, on the regular legacy news media and X, it's you see it through a filter, and when you're on the ground places, of course, it's different. You realize.
Yeah. Love this chart that we've got with Agix, which we were just talking about AI tokens. Agix is one of those AI tokens like eBay, which is yet to flower, yet to bloom, really, I would say, with eBay, but I think it's coming. But Agix is one of those which is already blooming, and we can see the amazing, that's a beautiful chart to look at with those, again, tremendously impulsive upward direction. And then when you see this downward movement here, this is very much a bull flag, where you see the flagpole that we mentioned yesterday is this impulsive movement to the upside, the flag waving in the wind, which is a bull flag in this case. And then again, we see it just resume that upward movement, upward impulsive movement. And right now, we're very close again to all-time highs on Agix, and it looks as though we're clearly going to break higher. So that's one I've actually been following, and I've mentioned it a few times early on in the Impact Money shows, one that we really need to watch. And even the pullback, we had massively extended RSI here, which is basically a momentum kind of indicator, showing that there's very powerful momentum to the upside. We got a bit of a pullback, but actually even during that pullback, we were still seeing higher prices on Agix. Singularity is basically still seeing higher prices. So that was a kind of divergence telling us that we were going to get a pullback, but the pullbacks have been really limited. And now we're seeing there's no divergence right now. So we are seeing more movement towards overbought territory, which is over 70 on RSI. So I do think we're going to go back to overbought, which just tells us that price is going to go higher again. And maybe we'll challenge this previous overbought level at 93. That was very extreme, 94, 95. That is among the most extreme you'll ever see. And you only see it really on things like aggressive crypto tokens. You don't tend to see RSI levels that high with traditional assets. So if we have a quick look.
It is something else. We are, again, and now I'm mentioning it kind of every day because I really want everybody to realize it, but we're getting into a deflationary period of Bitcoin, where really first of all, the supply that is being minted every day is coming lower. We don't have enough right now. That's why the price keeps going higher. And now that with the Taproot update, it's taken a year for everybody to really realize what's going on and how to use it. But building on Bitcoin, building on-chain Bitcoin is now a thing. It's not just a thing. It's probably going to be the hottest thing to happen in 2024. And that, as well as tying up more and more Bitcoins. You have this Atomicals. We had the guy on the other day. Atomicals is backing up 1 Satoshi a lot of times for every token or coin that they're minting on there. And that is, again, of course, tying up more Bitcoin as well. So we're entering in a deflationary period of Bitcoin. And I am more bullish than ever, to be honest. I am more bullish than ever that we're going to see these seven-figure Bitcoin.
Yeah. Did you see, by the way, you're talking about Doge, where, going to, what did you say it's going to go to? $1, was it?
I need to $1, of course.
Yeah.
You can't stop it.
Sure, you're probably aware, but do you know the circulating supply of Doge is not 21 million like Bitcoin, not even 21 billion, but 143 billion. 143 billion.
The truth is it's unlimited. And I don't know what they put forward, but back in the day, it was a certain amount. And this was when they lost my support a long time ago. Not my support totally, but I had tons and tons of dog at the time. And they decided that they were never going to have a cap on it. And they were just going to keep minting blocks continuously, and there was never going to be an end. And I thought, well, that's not going to work. That's baloney and whatever. And foolishly
I mean, I
sold.
think what David was saying, I think he was talking a little bit about retail, institutional, and so on. I don't think this will ever be one that institutions would touch with a barge pole because of that kind of supply. I doubt it. And then the other thing is the amount of whale holdings within Doge is extremely high. It's 44%.
It's extreme.
So that'll be.
I think Elon himself owns over 30%. There's one wallet, and it's like it has like 420, billion or million, 69,000 or whatever it is. Like his numbers, you know what I mean? It's like so classically Elon that it must be Elon. And it's holding like a third of the supply or something like that.
So you're talking 44% whale holding, so there's no decentralization really. Those whales can move the price massively, whereas Bitcoin is 1.26% of whale holdings, and that's probably virtual Satoshi anyway, who actually created the token in the first place.
Who is arguably probably not alive anymore.
Quite. I mean, if that's the case, a lot of tokens gone down the drain probably, unless he did find a way to pass them on to somebody else. I don't know. I
mean, every once in a while, I run around into someone around the world that says he can crack it and he can get into him, and I'm always like, "All right, man, let's do it." It never pans out.
So I mean, there's actually 52 million holding addresses for Bitcoin, and I think there's 6 million holding addresses for Doge. And bearing in mind, Doge has 143 billion tokens, and there's only 6 million as against that number of addresses for Bitcoin. Just again tells you about the distribution. That's one of the things we look at with Evade, by the way. One of the risk factors we look at is actually the distribution. So you can look onto the blockchain of any token. It's a good little bit of education for people. You can look at the blockchain of any of these tokens and actually look at the distribution. And if you see big whale holders holding maybe a majority of the token, it's a big warning sign, because they could potentially, you could have one person just sell up and absolutely crash the price. Whereas with Bitcoin, the biggest whale holder holds 1%. So if the biggest whale sold all the tokens, it wouldn't necessarily affect the price much at all. So that's a really important risk factor to take into account. And you need this sort of information when you're building a portfolio to build a safe portfolio. You can go for an aggressive portfolio, but obviously you don't put all your money behind something so aggressive.
Yep.
So, I'm pleased to see Solana. As I say, that's looking really bullish for me at the moment. So I think that we're just going to be headed towards not new all-time highs yet, but I think in the near future, within the next few months, I think we'll see Solana push to new all-time highs. So I'm very, very excited. That is still my token of choice.
Yeah, well, it's amazing. That ecosystem there is absolutely amazing. I talk to a lot of different people, obviously, and they have different tokens and everything else. if they haven't already done it, if they've already done it and they don't want to hear it, of course, I'm easy. But if they want to build on something, at least have a bridge or something onto the Solana network, because these guys, in my not so humble opinion, are going to pump this thing to very high, probably $1,000 or more. And why wouldn't you want to be in that ecosystem though, where it's going to rise like that, you know? So I think it's good as well. Bitcoin is the same. But if you look at Solana, I mean, the money that is behind Solana, whether you like them or not, I mean, these are the central banker guys. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But it seems to be now, especially as XRP has, become a bit of the redheaded stepchild, maybe, just for the time being. Solana appears to be the chosen one.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right there. When you talk about Doge potentially doing 5x, I think the chances of Solana doing 5x, which would take it roughly to that $1,000 level, just short of $1,000. But yeah, I do think the chances of Solana going to 1,000 are probably a lot higher than Doge going to 1,000.
There's no way Solana gets to 1,000 without Doggy going to $1. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
It's actually, they're both relatively. There's a 5x for both of them. I bet that if Solana goes to $1, Doggy will too. But we'll. I mean, 1,000, the Doggy will go to $1. We'll see.
Yeah, these crazy bets that I wouldn't dare take, because you just never know with cryptocurrency, do you? So Doge today is up 13.6% today, whereas Solana is down 0.12%. You just cannot. You cannot say. I mean, I always would tell people, well, I think it's going to do this, but guys, this is crypto, and it's highly speculative. It is. It's very emotional markets. You think stock markets and other type of markets are emotional? Let me introduce crypto to you, okay? Because these are emotional markets. You can have a community go in and buy up a meme coin like Doggy or one of the other ones, and it just goes sky high. 300% is very normal in a meme situation, in a meme token situation. This is normal stuff in a day. I think the thing I'd like to leave you with today really is this DXY chart, the dollar index, because I can't stress enough how important it is, this trend line that was drawn from a long while back, the fact that we broke above this trend line. So this candle, for example, it's actually a close above that's important. So you can see this red candle, it did spike above, but it didn't manage to close above, and nor this green candle. But then this green candle so far has spiked highly above. Now, if we see, and it just depends on this news coming out of the Fed tonight, but if we see a stay above there, close above, that's very important. If we see it spike back down below and close below, that again is very, very important. So what happens today, I would say, on this DXY chart has big implications for where we're going short term with this market. So that's kind of my, what I'd like to leave with you today, leave with the community today. Watch US dollar, because it's all important at the moment with the direction of risk assets.
Well, absolutely amazing. The US dollar is really, it's the world currency. It's still the strongest currency in the world. It is used in all types of, crypto trades with the USDT, with the US dollar. It is king. The dollar is king, and it's not going to be dethroned anytime soon. BRICS is making a good push for it. Bitcoin probably will eventually dethrone the US dollar, but it's not happening anytime soon. And soon is I mean in the next couple of years. But we could see it, I would say, in a decade or so. But right now, the US dollar is king. So you have to watch that. The US dollar is weakening. Risk assets are going to rise. As you see, they are. Gold's going to go up. You don't want to be really in the US dollar unless you're in one of these other currencies that's going down worse. Then maybe you do want to be in US dollar. But
so again, I think the show is close to finishing, but we have 4:30 Dubai time. So bearing in mind, right now we're at 3 o'clock Dubai time. So in an hour and a half's time, we have US GDP growth rate, the quarter on quarter, the final Q4 GDP out of America. That is probably what's going to do something with the US dollar. So depending on whether we meet that forecast of 3.2, bearing in mind the previous was 4.9%. If we meet the forecast of 3.2, then that's probably all good for the market. But let's just see if we are above or below that GDP forecast. I think that's going to be the next big move for the US dollar and crypto assets. I think everything's just going to hang on. Even the markets, the S&P 500. Let's see what happens with that GDP growth rate. It's just an hour and a half away now. So when I said look at the dollar, probably what's going to drive the dollar is this GDP growth rate, short term at least. So that's probably what we need to be watching for today.
Very good. Yes, we will be watching you closely, and hopefully tomorrow, if I can get things together tomorrow, we're going to have on the AI idiot. This AI idiot, they have a bot, and they have a currency as well. And yeah, you want to check that out. It's an AI a token. Sam Bankman-Fried, they say, is behind the code of the AI idiot. I don't know how much he's really behind the code, if it's just based on ChatGPT or what, but it's kind of a fun thing. And David and I are going to roast each other. We're going to roast each other on the air with the AI idiot. So it should be pretty fun. David's been dying to roast me. I can tell you that.
It's too easy. It's too easy.
So I think we'll have it. What's that?
I hold back all the time, constantly.
I know. If I start, I know you do. As you should. No, I'm kidding.
Safe pair of hands. Good old David.
I know. David and I have been around the world. Of course, we met Matt in person together, actually, there in Dubai when we started working together years ago. So hopefully we'll be back over there in the next few weeks as well together.
Great.
To see it really kick off the eBay too. We want to be really make that happen. Be big pushers in the whole scheme of things. So.
Yeah, it really is an amazing opportunity. Obviously, I've got an axe to grind, but I really, truly, strongly believe it's a major opportunity for people. Now, and over the next month is going to be the final opportunity, really, because after that, I think we're not going to see these low prices ever again.
It'll never be this low again. This is your last chance. No, I'm kidding. So on that note, we're not financial advisors. It's a fun show. We love doing it. There's a lot of great information here, and we'll be back on in 5 hours. Thank you so much, Matt. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, David. Thank you, Bruce. Enjoy Paris. Bye for now.
Cheers. Stay tuned, and you'll stay lucrative.
Your voice is powerful. When combined with social engagement, it's a force for change. Decentralized media paired with free speech is the catalyst for an empowered world and a unified, invaluable ecosystem. Join Global Boost, become a champion of free speech, and help to reshape the future of media.